Alright, we're going to put your boy Birder at the front. He'll get his attack. He'll have a high chance to dodge, so hopefully he won't take too much damage, and we'll get out of this pretty much unharmed. Dude, when you fucking rely on Birder, dude, that man will let you down straight up. Updates are here. Updates are done. As you can see, we got some new campaigns going on. We got the tile breaking challenge. We got the new Gohan and Goku, the new Vegeta and Trunks. But most importantly, we got the new Super Battle Road. Now, you already know which Super Battle Road I'm going for first. We're going with the Ginyu squad. As you can see, LR Ginyu Goku. What can I say other than I'm hoping he works out, because your boy, I'm not investing the Kais in this man. I feel like it's just not worth it to invest Kais in Ginyu Goku. And it's already a pain in the ass getting dupes from him, because you have to spend battlefield points. Everyone else is rainbowed, including this fucking monster, because this guy, again, like, low-key, I feel like the Ginyu guys, they're good units, they're handsome guys, their poses are unmatched, but there's so many better SSRs in the battlefield, reward section that it's just like, fuck, man, like, I can't be spending all these points out here, you know what I mean? This shit just ain't worth it for me. So, as you can see, this is the setup. I'm going with your boy Birder, hoping that this motherfucker dodges. I'm going with your boy Goldo, hoping this motherfucker actually does some stuns. Everyone else, surprisingly, does a pretty good job at tanking, especially this guy, because you start off and most people are, more than one enemy. He actually gets damage received minus 50% when facing 2 or more enemies. So this fucking Ginyu, this man, there's a reason why they call him Captain Ginyu. He's at the fucking top of the line when it comes to this shit. And look at that, with the power of editing magic, we're here 8 hours in the future, taking on Int Gohan, STR Kururin. As you can see, this is not a terrible turn. When you start this off, a lot of RNG with your starting turn. The Ginyu Force, certain units are better than others. I'd say the cream of the crop, the absolute best unit you're going to want to have on rotation is probably Int Ginyu. Int Ginyu reduces attack by 50% when there's 2 or more enemies, and all these stages have that at the beginning phase. So he is going to be eating up the damage, and he actually does a shit ton of blocking when Ginyu Goku's on the screen. And this Birder is pretty alright when it comes to being in the first slot. Unfortunately, he does occasionally let you down sometimes where he does not dodge, which kind of fucking completely ruins the whole point of him being there. But watch this. Look at this. 74k. That could have been 150k. Keep that in mind. So I took 2 70k supers to the face. If Ginyu wasn't on rotation blocking that, we'd be cooked sausage. So yeah, the new Ginyu Super Battle Road is out. I actually started playing this stage this morning, and I actually got to the very final stage, and I thought to myself, this is ridiculously easy. I did no items the first stage. I got super lucky. 1 item the second stage. Then I got to the last stage, and I made a very big mistake. I made the mistake of just assuming that Mr. fucking Birder would dodge. He did not dodge, and I lost all my time in progress. And you know me, unfortunately, I have a full-time job. It sucks. What are you going to do? So I actually had to go and hit that. Now, as you can see, this Ginyu Goku is actually pretty damn good. Shout out to the crit. He gives attack and defense plus 50% for the Ginyu Mongs. He actually gives extreme class allies attack and defense plus 30%. Not a bad support unit. And that does a great thing for the defense. And then when you pair that with LR Ginyu, the Phi one, he gets defense plus 30% on super for all allies. So you pair those two together, we making big moves happen. And as you can see, the only reason I bring this gold, though, is simply for the stuns. Jace, I don't know if you would do better if you brought Jace. Granted, Jace will tell you if someone's going to super attack or not, but he has no defense whatsoever. Goldo doesn't have any defense, but at least he has a slight possibility of maybe getting a stun. But, yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings about the Super Battle Road. I feel like it is one of the easier Super Battle Roads because I tried Universe Survival Saga. I got to the second stage and then died. Again, I just was screwing around with this morning. Shout out to your boy, Birder. He actually got the first dodge. Just so you know, Birder's passive, the way it works is that he does not get a quote-unquote evasive boost unless he actually does an attack. So the way that passives work in Dokkan is that when they say first attacker, they mean literally you have to attack before your passive activates, which fucking sucks. I wish they just did it by whoever was first, because as you can see here, like for example, that Krillin is on the left, he's attacking first, because if Birder was there, he wouldn't be able to attack first, and he doesn't get his added passive boost. But it's alright, that man got 15 dupes, or 15 dodge on him as is, so it's not too bad. And now, as you can see here, this is a great example of a very defensive turn, trying to take as little hits with the Int Gohan, with Ginyu Goku, and trying to let your boy Phi Ginyu take as many hits as possible when it comes to Gohan, and even Krillin, because he will do a shit ton of defense. After he gets his 18 key super attack, it is, like, ridiculous how much defense this man gets. It's really fucking good, dude. Like, I personally, I didn't sleep on Phi Ginyu. I was in a coma on Phi Ginyu. I didn't give a fuck about Phi Ginyu. I actually got Phi Ginyu to SA10, right? Got, you know, all the copies, got him SA10, got him all Duke Paths open. And then I find out I needed 70 medals to awaken his ass, and that was just way too much. My boy Metal Cooler could not wait for that shit. So unfortunately for him, he had to get, you know, he had to sit on the back burner. But you know what? He's out of retirement now, and that's all that matters. Now, for this turn right here, again, one thing to keep in mind is that now that Gohan is gone, this Int Ginyu actually is not going to tank as well. He has good defense, don't get me wrong, 70% up for defense. But that is not as good as attack minus 50% because it's just not. He's not going to be tanking as well. As you can see, we're taking 36k damage, whereas before we were taking a cool less than 5k. And again, your boy Goldo gets the stun. Definitely, I feel like if you were to get really lucky with the stuns with this Goldo, you could easily no-item run this. And when I say easily no-item run this, I mean literally when you need those crits, those fucking amazing stuns, you get those amazing stuns. But yeah, for me personally, when I start this stage, I've played this, what, 4 or 5 times now. My idea when going into this is that I look at my team setup. If I have Ginyu Goku on the rotation and he's on next rotation, then I'll just try to finish off Krillin, because usually Ginyu Goku can finish off Krillin. But if it's a scenario where, with this, when it first started off, Phi Ginyu was on rotation and Ginyu Goku was in 3rd slot, because I don't have that tech powerhouse on the field, I just said fuck it, why not, might as well just forget about it. And again, these crits are coming in handy, and like I said, this is actually 8 hours after the fact. I got your boy Ginyu Goku to SA10. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little frustrated. I was seeing the damage he was doing. I was using my friend Ginyu Goku, who's going, oh my god, I wish I was that cool, I wish I was that cool. And you know what, drip so hard, I had to do it, I had to pull it out. So, as you can see here, like I explained, unfortunately, the way passives work in this game, this Birder would not get a high evasive chance if he was the first attacker here. So, I'm just going to go ahead, let it rock, and I am a lot more cautious this time around because twice I did this stage, and I was, like, really conservative on items. And what I realized is that it's good to be conservative on items, but if you're going to fucking rerun the stage and keep using the items conservatively, you're going to end up using more than if you just used all the items in one run. So I was like, fuck it. I actually think I ended up using every single item. It probably wasn't necessary, but I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I definitely think this is probably one of the easier super battle roads in comparison to the other ones, especially in the sense that almost all, well, yeah, I'd say all of these cards are free-to-play cards, right? And the Ginyu Goku is kind of a hard grind. He is annoying, but you do get a one Ginyu Goku regardless if you get, I believe, all of the event Ginyu Mongs. If you get them to SA10 and Rainbowed, I believe. Which is not too bad. Ginyu Goku's low-key a god-tier unit. So the fact that you actually get a free copy by doing that grind, which, by the way, that grind is not that terrible because, first of all, the rates aren't terrible. Second of all, you get actual potential orbs, so you may actually have a surplus by the end of this. Third of all, he's fucking Ginyu Goku. I'll admit, though, I kind of wish they made Ginyu Goku's, like, SA a little bit different than Phi Ginyu's SA, because it's literally the same exact thing. The only difference being it's fucking Ginyu instead of Goku, and it's like, holy shit, you could have, like, switched it up a little bit, like, made his facial expression different. But irregardless, I think this stage is really fun. It's actually accessible because as long as you have the time and resources, and by time and resources, I mean either you have the time or you're smart enough to just grind that shit with the fucking Python script, you can actually get these units, and it ain't that terrible. Although, now that I think about it, AGL Birder, you get them on Monday. Tech Gold, you get them on Tuesday. So it might take you a week to get everything if you didn't do this shit. First of all, if you didn't do this shit, you're an asshole, because this is also a ridiculously good Namekians team for the grind for LR AGL Trunks. This was a really good team. But, you know, to each his own. I mean, I joke a little bit, but I personally don't have certain free-to-play amazing cards in this game just because you get busy, you're eating ass, you're doing all these different things. Bada bing, bada boom, what do you know? Fucking AGL, Kid Goku, that LR, I never farmed him. I think I have, like, what, 2 fucking copies. I never got around to farming him. When he comes back, maybe I'll farm him, but I just say that to let you know that when I say you're an asshole, I'm talking to myself. Shout out to your boy Birder. 15 dodge, he gets hit in the fucking face. But that's kind of expected with Birder. I really don't feel confident in him getting any dodge unless it is the simple case of the matter being that he's the first attacker. And right here, I would have really loved to let Raccoon just sit at front, but I'm looking at it for the betterment of the clan, for the betterment of the team. We gotta let your boy LR Ginyu take the hits, and then from there, we'll be able to get a Dokkan attack and let it rock. So, again, take into consideration that this Ginyu Goku gives attack and defense plus 50%. The most important thing, I would say, is defense. It's nice that you get that attack buff, but the fact of the matter is that 50% defense coupled with Raccoon's 80% defense and the already good defense of LR Phi Ginyu, and then once he gets his essay, that plus 30%, that adds up. That shit is really good. As a matter of fact, if you ever get to a turn where you have 2 LR Ginyu Gokus and you have 1 decent tank, I actually saw that a couple times happen to me, once or twice, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? It's not that bad. If you do not get supered attacked, you take about 20k damage with the Ginyu Gokus, and then whoever's in the middle, if it's, you know, if it's Int Ginyu, you're taking no damage if he has his passive fully up with that 50% damage reduction. If it's Phi LR Ginyu, you're also taking very little damage. So this team is very, very defense-oriented, and I'd say probably the only 2 units on this team that are more gimmick-based and have nothing to do with defense is Goldo and Birder. Birder is not terrible. He will dodge. I've seen it happen. I don't have it captured on video where I go, look at this, Birder did it. Good job, Birder. But he will dodge occasionally. But this Int Ginyu Goku, this Ginyu Goku and Int Ginyu, when they're paired together, ooh, the defense, God tier. But, yeah, I think this is a pretty cool event. I actually like the fact that it is accessible to pretty much everyone if you grind the event. Which is a very stark difference to, again, I hate to pick on Naruto Blazing, but I just, you know, I went back, I played that game a little bit. I actually played a little bit of PvP before my phone had a stroke. And yes, I realized that from what I've heard, from what I've read, from what I've seen, that in order to play that game in PvP, you need to play it on an emulator. You need to play it on your computer. You need to play it on a tablet, perhaps. Well, here's the thing. It's a mobile game. There's a reason why I play mobile games when I'm at work, when I'm going around, when I'm jerking off, when I'm walking the dog. And then there's a reason why I play Super Smash or some Dark Souls or some real shit at home. If you're gonna fucking put console limitations on a fucking mobile game, do me a favor, go get the noose. I'm talking to the development team. Go get the noose. As a matter of fact, no, you don't get death. You don't get death. You don't deserve that. Go to Jira, make a bug ticket, figure out what the fuck is good with your servers and fix that shit. That's really annoying. I mean, me personally, sometimes I like using my mobile phone, you know, if I go out. Like, for example, if I go by a friend's house watching an MMA fight, might take a minute, check out Dokkan, play a couple matches, etc., etc. You know, when the bitches start fighting, you know, you remember WWE when the divas come out, you sleeping. Well, you know, eventually you get a little bit older, and then all of a sudden you go from sleeping to jerking, but you get the point I'm trying to make. And right here, I decide to go the more defensive route. As you can see, I have a shit ton of HP. I have a lot of defensive blockers, But I feel like this is something not to take into, and Ginyu actually dodges, like, fucking everything here. But I feel like this isn't something to take for granted when you have a very defensive team like this, and you have so many people attacking. It's worth it to use an Icarus. Icarus does not block as much as a Whis, so, you know, it's not the craziest thing. But I think it's good to balance when you have a lot of HP. Use damage down to conserve your HP. Because what would have ended up happening, say I got hit by that super attack, I would have been low HP. I would have been forced to use the HP plus 30% damage reduction. And then I'd be down with another healing item. And eventually you need a good balance of healing and damage reduction. Because if you have 10 HP with fucking no damage reduction, or with damage reduction, it's not going to do much at all. And I decide here, I'm going to throw my boy LR Phi Ginyu on the fucking sword. I said, fuck it, you know what? No 18 key for this guy today. It's looking like a 12 key super type of day for you, unfortunately, just so I could get your boy, Mr. Ginyu Goku, to do the attack. And by the way, let me just mention that the reason why I am going for, what's his name, Thouser, I believe, Thousand Island Dressing, is because although he probably has the most HP out of all of them, they all have a shit ton of HP. They all have an annoying amount of HP. And the fact that I have type advantage with Goldo and the two Ginyu Gokus, it actually is not that hard to kill him. He's probably the fastest one to kill, and he attacks the most. So I would recommend you go for him. Either him or Tech. Him or Tech. The only reason I say Tech is because eventually, well, actually, no. I would say him or Phi. The reason why I say him or Phi is because I would rather have the blocking ability of Ginyu and then just with Birder try to make him dodge the tech. But I feel like I did the right thing here because when I came here the last time, I was focusing the Phi unit, which took fucking forever the whole time. This piece of shit Thouser was supering me. And then I focused the tech unit, which again, the piece of shit was supering me. So I kind of feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And as you can see, your boy Birder refuses to fucking dodge. Even though he have the high evasiveness, your boy says, fuck you, I'm not dodging. And it decides to just fuck me, basically. Which is a goddamn shame. I really feel like he disrespected me. What else is new? What are you going to do? It is what it is. But as you can see, I survived. I can't even tell what the fuck. I can't even tell what the HP is. I need my glasses in order to see. I need my glasses in order to see that. Hold up. Look at that HP regen. Now I see the HP. But yeah, hindsight 2020. Dude, when you fucking rely on Birder, dude, that man will let you down straight up. But yeah, just to get back to the original point I was saying about Naruto Blazing, other than the fact that their servers are fucked, is that they're very not free-to-play friendly, and they're very, like, not fun unless you pull the units. Like, for me personally, I recently pulled Obito and I pulled Kakashi, so I'm able to kill the SS Madara, which, by the way, it's not the hardest raid ever. It's not as hard as last year's Naruto and Sasuke, but it's still pretty hard if you don't have those units, and it just makes the game not fun at all. Like, I feel like so many more people would play that game if you could go the free-to-play route, or at least have the option. I mean, like, J Fanta cannot exist in Naruto Blazing. It's not fucking possible. Like, it's just an impossibility to let someone actually play free-to-play and actually, you know, beat a majority of the events, which kind of sucks because Naruto Blazing is a kind of unique game. It's kind of, you know, kind of similar to One Piece Treasure Cruise. And as you can see here, I'm not fucking taking chances with Birder at the end. Absolutely not. And I also don't want to rely on the Goldo stun because it may or may not work out. Yeah, so it's really impossible to play that game free-to-play. Not only is it impossible to play free-to-play, but it's not fun. This is the weird thing about Naruto Blazing. Naruto Blazing has a bunch of super easy events that are, like, dumb easy. But they're not fun. Like, they have daily login, they have daily events. Oh, wow, I one-shot an enemy. And then the fun events, the SS events, the S events, they're ridiculously hard. They're essentially the Super Battle Road version of that game. Or actually, Ninja Road is more like Super Battle Road, and then their events are more like Dokkan modes, or Dokkan battle events. But the Dokkan events in this game are way more lenient and way more open, as opposed to what Naruto Blazing does, which literally forces you to have the summonable unit on the turn, or on the event. So if you don't pull that unit from the banner, you're pretty much left out in the dark, which ended up alienating a lot of people last year. I mean, me personally, I ended up dropping the game. Even this year, people who actually got units from the last year weren't even happy in the end. Like, fucking Kabuki had Naruto, and I believe he had Sasuke. And at the time, he was fucking loving it. I remember that motherfucker was a sick fuck. He was jerking off going, oh yeah, I got Naruto, I got Sasuke. You all can go fuck yourself. But, you know, a year later, and someone who actually got the unit is like, this game fucking sucks. Like, there's no new units. There's no good game balance. The game mechanics are god-awful. It's really, I mean, as much as I joke and say the developers are fucking sickos, it's probably whoever owns them, whoever calls the shots, they probably know that they have software that needs updates. They probably know that they have some things that need work, but the developer or whoever's their fucking product owner and product manager is probably like, who gives a fuck? As long as Naruto Blazing's making money. That, honestly, I feel bad for people that play Naruto Blazing because I kind of feel like the company that owns it are just in the mindset of like, listen, let's just ride this thing out to the fucking, until the wheels fall off. We're just going to try our best to make as much money. We're not going to update the game. We're going to do the bare fucking minimum. And that's that. So that's kind of what the game feels like to me anyway. I don't play it that heavy, but that's how I feel because basic things about the game, like if they ever played their game, it's like impossible to enjoy. Like, you know, it took, what, 10 million years to limit break a unit? I limit broke like 3 units in the time I've played that game. And it literally took like an hour per, like legit a fucking hour. Like it took a ridiculous amount of time. And that's something I don't like about Dokkan at the moment. It isn't as bad as it used to be, but the dupe system is kind of annoying. But again, look at Dokkan. Dokkan actually had a heart and soul, and they ended up adding a feature where you just click a node and it populates all of their nodes. Whereas before that wasn't the case. So that means someone was actually paying attention to that, and someone on the business side said, you know what? We're actually going to try to keep this game going as long as possible. We want to help people. We actually want to make it enjoyable, etc., etc. So it kind of sucks because I like the game personally. I think it is a fun game, but I feel like as more kind of mobile games come out, more games seemingly coming into the fray, it's eventually going to fade away because the developers just don't. The developers don't have the chance to care. They're just not allowed to. And right here, I use this snake bitch. I really didn't have to. I was blocking fairly all right. I had plus 80% defense from Raccoon himself, plus the additional 50%. So my defense was plus 130%. But I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't want to take the chance. I'm like, listen, this is the last fucking guy. I already use fucking items. It's not like I'm getting a no item fucking run out of this. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? So I decided to just go ahead and do that. And again, like I mentioned, this battle is actually pretty long. And compared to the other ones, like I feel like the Gohan and the Krillin fight can actually go extremely fast if you get lucky with crits. If you get 1 or 2 crits with Ginyu Goku and then follow it up with, if you get a crit with LR Phi Ginyu and you get a crit with LR Ginyu Goku, that's pretty much it. 2-3 turns, Gohan or Krillin are dead. And then from there, if you're able to stun lock, like I got lucky a little bit where I was able to stun Krillin, then you conserve your HP, and then you could go on to the next stage easily without using any items, if you get lucky with some crits and some stuns. But I think this stage is fairly long. As you can see, it's actually long enough to build up a Dokkan meter. I used that in the last stage and then came here and fucking built it up. So if that doesn't say time-consuming, I don't know what is. But as you can see, we got the W. I had to take it in. Look at the battlefield. Look at Super Battle Road. Look around you. No one is left standing. Only Ginyu is there with Ginyu. And yeah, some other members of the Ginyu Force, but Ginyu. Ginyu's the most important person on the field. So I feel like this is again, like Peppy Gals, it's the easier Super Battle Road stage, but at the same time, it is not a complete pushover. It is a little bit annoying when you get to that final stage. But I feel like if you have some tactics in mind, if you try to leverage defense, because a lot of these units do have very good defense, and you try to leverage the fact that Ginyu gets an attack decrease when there's 2 or more enemies, it shouldn't be that bad. So shout out to your boy Ginyu. Like I said, I had to get on the SA10. I couldn't disrespect your boy Ginyu Goku like that. Yeah, I had to spend some battlefield points. Yeah, I had to spend some money. It is what it is. Life is short. Get Ginyu to SA10. What's the big deal?